So here's the deal. This is our podcast called The Doctor and the DJ. Dr. Carrie Bordinko, she's a DJ, or she's a doctor. She's a doctor.
Just
I'm
got
the
promoted.
DJ from John J. Rich Kiss FM. And then our guest is Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe.
Do we get to sing the song?
I always have a problem singing the song because I know the jingle. But
Tell me the jingle and throw the number.
Lerner and
Give
Rowe
the right
is the
one.
way to go down. Down.
Come on.
That's what I always scream.
la, la, la.
1900.
You got some of it, buddy.
So
After all these years.
But this podcast that we're doing, we might change the name, right? You got to be somewhere. You mind not just rude looking at your watch?
No, but
I'm trying to do an intro.
Unlike you, I get little notifications. I have to know what they are.
No, I don't.
97,000 emails. You don't worry about it.
That's why I don't have that one of those watches, because of that purpose, by the way, because you get text messages all
I
the time.
actually took my Apple Watch off for this because I did not want to be notified, Kevin.
See?
I'm trying to burn calories here.
We're going to, our podcast, Kevin, is mostly like health, nutrition, but we wanted to open up to all kinds of stuff, right? And Carrie's idea was...
Oh, I want to talk about the influence of AI on the legal system.
Ooh.
Because I know you and I had a little sidebar a couple weeks ago, and you were giving me some things I had really never even thought about. Of course, there's a lot of AI influence coming into medicine right now, so I'm in my own little world on how that's going to impact change. But I think people do not really understand the full reach of how this could change the legal system. So we want you to talk to us about that today.
Yeah, I think to start off with things, I'll talk more in general and then about personal injury law and my opinions on it, because there's a lot of change, I think, coming. With change, there's a lot of hesitation. Even as a business owner myself and my partner, we're worried about how things are going to be playing out in the future, but you also have to grasp it. You have to just roll with it, learn it, because the old ways of even marketing or the old ways of handling cases are not the same. I mean, I look at I'm dating myself, but when I first started out, you used to write on a 6x5 card, the client's name, and then the next thing you're supposed to do on the case and put it in there, and then you put it on the date you were supposed to, make that, whatever that task was that day. And so when you came to that day, you'd have all your cards for that day and all the tasks you were supposed to do. Rudimentary. We had our computers back then with IBMs and the green screens.
Yes, DOS.
You were really excited when you graduated up to the amber screens. It was really high tech then. Things a lot have changed. Having software, CRM, case management systems has been a game changer in personal injury field and for all lawyers. It has to do with how you're handling data, where data can be located, what kind of reports you can extract with that data. It hasn't even been that long. Maybe 10 years ago, probably 10 years ago, a new CRM-based system for all calls that are coming into a law firm came out.
What's CRM mean?
It's basically a case management software.
Oh, okay.
So handling
is that AI?
No, not yet. But that's my whole point. Back in the day, when we went from everything being handwritten and put in the file, everything, if you lose the file, you're done. Because everything you got in that file is handwritten. It's not backed up in any way. Then moving into the computer era, which is 85, 87, maybe even 90, that you now have computers that you're starting to store stuff on there. At the beginning, they were just for writing letters.
Emails.
Not even emails. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but emails weren't acceptable as a form of communication in the legal field, not at the beginning. So you're writing letters, typing it instead of using a typewriter, because that was the acceptable way. And now you're at least using a Word software to actually perform those tasks. And you could save them on a floppy disk and put the disk in the file and keep using that. But people were really scared on how that was going to happen back then and what that was going to do, and a job's going to be lost because now we don't need all these different people to do these different things. It's now computers are watching and are storing all that data. But then you fast forward 20, 30 years later, and now you got the AI. We've been talking about AI in general for years, but it seems in the last 8 months, at least in the legal field, it has skyrocketed that almost every week there's a new software platform coming out for personal injury lawyers or for lawyers in general.
But to use how? So hey, I was in a car accident, help me a case, and it goes, boop, it'll just tell you.
No, so it's, unfortunately, it does do some of that stuff. And what we were talking about earlier is there's different AIs. You have OpenAI, which is like your Chat GPT and all that different stuff.
Which is not confidential, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily correct in the information it's grabbing from. It's open source, so people can put different information on here. So
I don't know if everybody understands that actually about OpenAI.
Whatever you feed the animal, the AI beast, that you're putting the information in, that's what it's taking and learning from. So the prime example in the legal field was that lawyer that was in New York that was responding to a brief using ChatGPT and the AI and information it generated, so it wrote his brief for him.
Well, is that bad?
Well, it's bad if you're not checking the facts of your brief because it started citing cases that didn't exist.
Oh, my God.
They weren't real. And so when he didn't fact check and he sent it in to the court fact checked and they realized these things don't exist. And it blew up that he used ChatGPT.
Oh, that's incredible.
So back to just the software in of itself, there's lots of new software coming out. And you ask, what are you using it for? Well, you have new software that is for intake, and that's for your initial business calls, leads from either chats, from social media, from phone calls that are coming in, and how it tracks all that information. That's software that's coming out right now. We are going on to a new software platform. For us, it's been around a little bit, but they've really pushed AI on this platform. It's a closed AI within this legal platform. So they have 5,000 plus law firms. So the 5,000 law firms that are on this platform, they're feeding the beast, the AI beast.
But how do you guys use it?
I'm going to tell you, here's a really cool way. So if you have a deposition and you have 1,000-page medical records, it would typically take a paralegal or a lawyer who's going to review it to summarize those medical records. It would take 3 to 4 days, maybe 3 days, because you're writing everything, you're typing everything out and doing all that stuff. It probably took 3 days, 6 hours a day that they're actually doing it. AI now can do it in 30 seconds.
Whoa.
And 30 seconds to the point that it's so accurate that it's pulling out the diagnostic code and it's giving you a hyperlink. Let's just use, the traumatic brain injury, TBI, that it's looking for. It will group everything that in the page that TBI is mentioned, traumatic brain injury is mentioned. So if you had to go back and there's a certain, you wanted a reference in your deposition or if you were writing a brief or something, you want to go back and just click the hyperlink and it'll take you back to the pages.
So that's good.
It's mentioned. It's great. AI, I think as a whole is going to make law firms, it's going to make any business.
I think people are afraid of it, just like you said about everything else, because it's in the radio business right now. I was just at a big radio convention a couple weeks ago, and the big thing was everyone was scared of AI and they're anti-AI. And the thing about AI, there's actually a whole radio station somewhere in Portland, I think, that is just AI. It's a woman DJ that does whatever. But you can kind of, if it's long form audio, you can tell eventually that it's a computer. But the thing about AI is it doesn't really know humor. So it doesn't really, there's personality traits that it can't do. But I remember people were afraid of compact discs. People got way afraid of Napster and online music and downloads, especially the artists. And now that's the way music comes out now.
Again, it's the change. And I think you're kind of hitting the nail on the head that I think what people are really scared of is AI is going to make you more efficient.
Yeah.
Whereas one person could handle X amount of files. Now with the use of AI, that person can probably double, triple. And I'm not saying if you can have been.
So then you'll reduce your staff. That's where people are afraid of.
That could absolutely
Same like all these DJs, oh my God, AI, I'm going to lose my job.
Yeah, but half the time what we find out is we repurpose those individuals to do another more important job.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
I don't know at any point in time where we stand around looking, that we have excess labor right now. So this is a good thing.
Yeah, no, look, as a business owner, it's a little scary, but also a great thing. I mean, if it's going to make you more efficient, if it's going to make you more accurate, because at the end of the day, think about this. My dad told me this, sent me this email, let's say 12, 15 years ago. And, Daimler, Chrysler Daimler.
Mercedes?
Yes. So he wrote the top 100 businesses or professions that will not be around by 2035. And, of course, legal's in there. And this was written 15 years ago, 12 to 15 years ago. And he's saying at that time that IBM Watson AI can, at that time, answer legal questions, 100% faster with more accuracy than a human can. So you're looking at these stats that they have then, and you're like, oh my God, this is happening now, not 2035. I think 2035 is too far down the road. I think you're going to see some drastic changes. My opinion, because my partner says, no, you're off. But my opinion, I think it's going to be 5 years or less, will be drastic changes on how personal injury accidents are handled between law firms, and I can even quote that because it may not necessarily be law firms, and insurance companies.
So you might have AI talking to the insurance company's AI and just work it out without it. And then, hey, here's the result. Take it or leave it.
So we've had this conversation quite a bit that that's what's going to happen. I mean, insurance companies want to cut costs. I mean, the auto rates in California last year alone, or this past year alone, went up 54%. Here in Arizona, they're up over 22% and continuing to rise because the costs they add it all in when they do these things. But like in California, they talk about the natural disasters and the fires and homeowners. I mean, they're leaving. Most of the big name insurers are not insuring homes anymore in California. They've left. And you're going to see that kind of all over because it's too expensive. Mm-hmm. So when you're talking, if you have an adjuster who's a claims representative who will adjudicate a case and try and resolve it in pre-litigation, so before a complaint has been filed, if you have an adjuster, you're paying that adjuster X amount of money, anywhere from nowadays probably $70,000 could be to a supervisor $150,000 or more. You have that person, and there's multiple people. Like I said, you have the claims adjuster, then you have a property damage adjuster, you have a bodily injury adjuster, you have supervisors for those departments. There's a whole bunch of people that are involved. Well, just like you just said, imagine if, let's just say I developed an app or an application of some sort that I went on TV and said, hey, our law firm, we're the real discount lawyers. Now, I can't say that because there's somebody out there that has a discount lawyer. But what if I said, here's a true discount? We'll take your case for 9%. Whoa. Right now, the average is 33 1/3 or 35%. Some are doing 30%. Some are doing even higher. And I just come out there and say, I'll do it for 9%. But really, what is that 9% going to get you? Well, think about this. If I go ahead and say, you want to sign up with me, you're going to do all the work. So you're going to upload your medical records. You're going to upload your pictures, all stuff that's super easy because we're all used to it because it's all on our phone now anyways. And the other big thing that's going to happen, AI is going to help, is with these hospitals and medical clinics and all these different places that have medical records, it's going to be easier to obtain all these records. So now, instead of having to go write an authorization, go there, pay $10 or whatever it is to get your records, now it's all going to be electronic. It is already electronic, but there's going to be sourced on how to get them right to your phone. You're going to turn on and upload them to the app. And then when it's all done, you're done treating, you have all your stuff in there, the app will put it in a form that needs to be put in, and then sending it over to a demand over to the insurance company. And then the insurance company, AI, will then see if it can negotiate a settlement. If it can't negotiate a settlement, now realize.
So you probably got to approve ahead of time.
100%.
Do you agree to go AI?
Right. This
right.
is
so then they work it out.
Rudimentary, without a doubt. But just in general speaking, think about this, that then you have, the client's one who has the authority to do it, accept or not, and to which way they want to do it. But there's a couple different things that will be taking place here. One thing is, let's say there's something in the medical records that shows an experienced attorney that, hey, this shouldn't just go the AI route. So we could be, because it's our law firm, be scrubbing medical records independently to see what this client has. And as you're scrubbing, looking for it, again, I'm just using an example.
Keyword search of some sort.
Keywords that come out. Let's say TBI, boom, shows up. Or radicular symptomatology shows up. Or something shows up that could be more indicative of substantial injury that is only being looked at as soft tissue now.
But the computer could be the one that finds the keyword and then feeds it over to you to say, hey, pull this out, look at this.
Then, and that's it. And then you're turning around going back to that individual, hey, I know you signed up for 9%, but look, I think at the end of the day, your claim is worth a lot more than you think it is. We think we can help you, and then you have another option. And that could be another option for us to get involved and litigate the case. Now, it wouldn't be for 9%, but to litigate the case. And that's one thing I think with AI. AI will enhance the ability to litigate. So like I just give an example of summarizing medical records, making charts or diagrams.
So it's going to eliminate paralegals.
Again,
you don't want to say that?
I still think
I don't want to say it's going to eliminate really anybody.
I think it's just increasing efficiency. I mean, if Kevin doesn't get drawn into all these cases, all cases are important, right? But he doesn't get drawn into the ones that are rudimentary, that are easy to settle, and he can focus his time and talent on a case that really has true relevance, to that consumer. I think it enhances the consumer. I think it's no different than what we're looking at in medicine with AI. It's not that every case is not important, every diagnosis is not important, but there are certain things that AI does a very efficient job of helping to educate, maybe has even more time to educate than the doctor has time. And then we can pull our time aside, look for those complicated cases that just don't fit any algorithm, and spend time helping people get better faster.
Couldn't agree more. And that's really it. Sure, everybody's case is important to them, and it's important to us, 100%. But if you just have soft tissue injury, sprains and strains, and you're done treating after 6 weeks, and you're back to normal, great, fantastic. But you don't really need us as much as if you have more complex injuries that are down the line, that we actually have to not only make sure the injuries have been diagnosed, and they're seeing the proper doctors, and the doctors are treating them correctly. I shouldn't say.
Well, have you personally used AI yet?
So I have, but on simple stuff, like I was explaining to you. So like records reviews, and that we were amazed that what it's able to pull out. Because you're talking, CPT codes, ICD-9 codes are all medical coding that helps with diagnosis and billing. All those codes are super helpful for us.
I use AI, and I really like it for things like this guy I know wants to be, my son's high school coach quit, so they need a new high school coach. And a friend of mine says, hey, could you write me a letter of recommendation? And I was like, sure. And I'm horrible at writing. So I go to the chat GPT, and it's like I'm talking to a dude. I go, hey, I need you to write me a short email that talks about this person, what a great person he is. He played basketball overseas. His dad was the first Phoenix Suns. He's a great guy. He's been with these kids since they were a kid. And this AI, within seconds, it wrote the most beautiful.
Yes.
No, I copied it. I put his name, to whom it may concern. Boom, boom. I sent it to the athletic director of the school. Then I copied the guy. The guy sent me back. Goes, oh my God. He doesn't know his AI. He goes, this made me cry.
He does now.
He does now.
He will now. Hey, Jimmy, that was for you. But Jimmy cried. And he cried. And he said it was unbelievable. And I was like, I could have never done that myself.
So here's something crazy other ways that I'm using AI, and it's kind of up in the marketing alley. Doing podcasts or doing commercials or radio cuts, we do all these things. I'll come with you, and you've been with us when we film commercials, TV commercials, and radio spots and all that stuff. It takes a lot of time, especially to write them. So you just talked about, sure, we've used Chat GPT to write radio scripts or TV scripts. We've definitely used that before. There's a new way with social media. It just takes up so much time, energy, and effort to do social media clips. So instead, I have an avatar.
Oh.
And my avatar does all the clips.
You mean a little cartoon avatar, or like a human avatar?
It looks like you?
Meaning it is me.
Oh.
And you think it's me. And everybody thinks it's me. But it's not.
Has it already hit?
So there are some things, and you kind of hit on it earlier about voice tones and kind of stuff. So there's TV spots out there right now. Now you're not seeing me; you're just hearing my voice because there's graphics over it.
And that's not you
but
talking.
But if you listen, you may be able to. Since you know me so well, you'll be able to listen. Hey, that's not. That sounds kind of, but it's off.
So
there's a program. I have
inflection.
access to a program like that we do for the radio show. Yep. You can use anybody's voice and put it in there.
But here's the cool thing about this. Yeah, here's the cool thing about this type of program is now I don't have to spend 20 minutes or an hour writing up whatever the script is we're going to say. I don't have to memorize it or do whatever it is. I don't have to act it out.
Because you're not it.
Because now what they're able to do is, and it's probably going to be used all over China, but you sit in front of your screen at the office and you have your camera and they want you to speak and do mannerisms for a minute. So I'm like, hi, the sun is outside, the sky is blue, John Jay's here. How about you? Doing a whole bunch of silly things. And then it's got it. Their algorithms got it. And then you wait about 2 minutes. And then they go, here you are. Now, you just have to give it a script. And I can change my clothes. So I could be in red.
I got to see this.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But it's you?
But it's me. And I turned around and did, I'm not going to tell you the exact words I used, but I did an old Ice Cube lyric, and it was and a Tupac lyric I threw in there, and it was hilarious because it's trying to use my voice because remember it got my voice from me speaking, And it's absolutely off key, which is probably normal, how it would be. But yeah, it's got, what did I say? It was like bad boy killers, da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's me saying it on the other end. It's pretty crazy. And
but there's also, it's video of you.
It's video of
I got to see that.
So
I see the audio thing is easy.
Yeah.
The video thing I can't.
No, and that's what the greatest part about it is now, all I have to do is have a script. And then, because you're talking like 15-second spots for TikTok or all these little things you can do. Now I could do 50 in an hour because I'm not doing, all I'm doing is typing in the script or uploading the script in the script. Because again, it's not going to be the greatest content. You know, it's not like, you know, how you're filming and stuff now, but it's content enough for TikTok or Instagram that you're just trying to get out whatever's in that script. Talking about new laws or things are changing or something that's, you know, in the personal injury realm that people need to know about. And it's pretty simple. And I didn't think of it. I was at a conference in, was it April or May? And this guy was like, man, it just takes so much time to do all these things. Now I can do 100 a month, whereas I was doing like 8 to 10 because it just consumed so much of my time. And we also have practices to handle. At the same time, you're trying to handle these practices, law firms, and do this marketing. Let me tell you, that's another thing. Glenn and I were on the older end of the spectrum. And so trying to get into TikTok or Tiki-Talkies, I'm not even on it. So I don't watch. I know my kids are. I know my oldest, Taylor, she's 23. She's on it all the time, telling me what everybody else is doing. I'm just not. I have so many other things I'd probably rather do with my time. And I think the old man's Facebook takes up a lot of my time, and Instagram. So no, man, I don't. But this saves plenty of time. And I'm telling you, it's pretty great.
I've used AI. I did something. I wasn't even going to share this story. I was thinking about telling the story on the radio, but I can't. Maybe I can get away with it here. And my wife, Blake, she's here. She doesn't know this story. But like, I don't know if you guys, my wife and I share memes all the time, back and forth, right? Send memes, funny memes back and forth. And her back hurt a couple of days ago. She's really out. And she
like mine.
Yeah, like yours, actually. Yeah, bad. And so I was upstairs, and I went to ChatGPT, and I said, can you make me a meme? And it said, sure, make you a meme. And I asked the ChatGPT to make a meme that giving oral sex to your husband helps your back. Okay? So the ChatGPT says that's inappropriate. Yeah. I can't cross that line. And then I'm like, wait a minute, this is medical. And I'm trying to do all these medical terms, and I can't get it. So it makes a meme. It makes the memes, but it uses different language. I'm like, it's not strong enough. So I never sent it to her. But I have the memes, but they're like, anyway, it never worked out. But unlike your back.
It has never worked out.
No, the oral sex thing.
Kevin, that is your own damn fault.
It's not. No, I'm actually feeling good.
Speaking of your back, let's segue into this since we've spent 4 hours talking about AI.
Still a lot more coming, though.
But what about, one of the things that Dr. Bordinko and I, or Dr. Carey and I are into are stem cells.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I think we're all going shortly. We've been on trips before to Mexico. What's your take on stem cells? How do you feel about stem cells? And I mean, the kind that you can't get in the United States. And Carey, I still don't know the right answer. When people ask me, why can't we get these here? I still don't know.
They're not FDA approved to have true harvested stem cells from someone other than yourself. You can harvest a stem cell that you have in your bone marrow and re-inject it into your body. That's perfectly legal. It's your tissue. But it is illegal or banned in the U.S., according to our government, to harvest stem cells from another human and put them into you in indications other than like leukemia, lymphomas, what we call blood cancers. And those are very specific types of cells that only come from bone marrow. So that gets really kind of confusing. So I'm getting in the weeds.
It's input. You can extract here and harvest it because isn't all
you could yes you could do that, but you cannot put it back into someone else who is not the genetic you.
Correct, and that's why you have.
And that even some people say, oh well, I kept the umbilical cord from my baby when it was born and they froze it, so I'll just use that. Yeah. You actually can't do that either. Just because it is your offspring does not mean you have legal rights to it. So it's it's something that's been around. I mean, we've been doing stem cells now for 20 years. It's not even new technology. That's what's really scary about this. But it is a banned usage of that biological product. And every, doctor, every hospital, they have to follow what the government says. You can't just go around willy-nilly putting things in that don't belong.
And it's different. I'm sorry. I'm just curious. What is your take? There just needs to be more studies on the effectiveness or efficacy?
No, I think we have some really good studies actually out there on the effectiveness. I mean, I believe that it just gets into turf wars in the medical system. And I mean, that's
Sure.
as blatant as you can get, right? It would impact too much.
Are we talking about big pharma?
We might be talking about the trillions or beyond trillions of dollars that big pharma makes, because I think the impact points of where it can really decrease the need for future medical care as far as more testing, more surgeries, more pharmaceuticals on a daily basis. I mean, I love giving the example of ulcerative colitis, a very big ticket item for big pharma. Those biologicals can be anywhere between $5,000 and $50,000 a month for the life of the patient. That is a cash cow. I mean, there needs to be a better name for it. But if you can turn that off, if you can turn that spend off by giving stem cells, which there's a lot of great data in the UC and Crohn's area, wow.
And we've seen people.
We've seen people. We know firsthand people. I mean, even very respectable GI doctors behind closed doors or will whisper to the patient, I can't say this to you, but it does work, you know, because they don't want to lose their tenure. They don't want to lose their position in their GI department.
But I feel that, though, that people will tell me, I can get stem cells here. And I'll be like, it's your own. And no, it's not.
Well, okay. So first off, the word stem cell is like using the word Kleenex for tissue, right? I mean, it's become synonymous with a product that it is not. People are getting cells that are harvested from other areas, either different areas of the umbilical cord or from the placenta, and those are what they're getting. That is a different origin cell that does not have the same impact. It does not have the ability to, I always like to say, kind of grow up and be something different when it's in you. Those cells are already derived cells that are just going to work either in muscle tissue because they're already muscle cells. I mean, there's so much harvesting, like I said, of bone marrow, either from the person, which you're not talking about, or that they're deriving cells directly from a post-production product that is not the same as an umbilical cord tissue, which is what we're talking about when we go out of country.
Okay, and we go to Cancun, we go to ReHealth.
I know you talked about this probably before, but I get people, and I'm sure you do too. Well, it's going to alter your DNA.
Yes, yeah, that's another great
You're
myth
getting somebody
that's out
else's
there.
DNA. You know, how do you know it's healthier? How do you know it's not going to alter yours?
So how do you feel now that you've done it have you done it like 3 times?
Yeah, this will be 4. Yeah. I can tell you the one thing that has made a huge difference in my life, stem cells is definitely, and I notice it from minute one. I have 2 young Petri dishes at home. One is 9 and one just turned 6, and they bring home diseases weekly. And I was getting sick at least once or twice a month, no doubt, once or twice a month. And my wife was not getting sick ever. And I just figured I'm older, so I'm more susceptible to all this stuff. As soon as we did the first stem cell study, I wasn't getting sick. And it's been 3 times now, every 6 months, basically.
But what about like other things? Like when I look at you, your face is like, what is
More
it?
vibrant,
Yeah, like you
fuller.
have a vibe about you
so
that I think wasn't there before stem cells.
That is a beneficial side effect.
Right, it's a side effect.
Yeah,
but
I say skin and hair. You would
Yeah.
never tell somebody to go do it for that, but everybody will walk up to you and go, "What are you doing? What product are you using?
Yeah.
Your hair looks
Exactly.
fuller. It looks healthier. Your skin looks better."
I'm just saying the biggest thing for me is I haven't been sick in over 20 months. I mean, I've had COVID. I haven't had it. My wife's had COVID, sleeping right next to me, coughing in my face.
Not sick.
Not sick. Let me tell you, I've had COVID 4 times before, even getting stem cells. So my kids have had bronchitis, the common colds, pneumonia. My wife had. I mean, all these different things that have been around me, and I have not been sick. Knock on wood.
Is there, we've talked about AI, we've talked about stem cells. Is there a reason that you felt compelled to not dress up for this podcast today?
Yeah, I just felt you're going to get the true version of me. Just felt I'd be here for you, buddy.
Wait, I'm going to jump all over the place because I want to go to your law firm real quick. In all the years you've been doing it, what's like the biggest settlement Lerner and Rowe's ever got? Are you not allowed to talk about that? Okay.
We have confidential, but here's the other stuff.
You don't have to tell me who it is.
No, I know. Single event, because here's a couple different things. So when we go out there and say we have collected billions.
Yeah, I do your commercials on the radio, billions and billions for your clients.
Right. So when we say that, because there's other firms that do things different, it is cumulative. Yeah. But we've collected over $1 billion for our clients just in the last 4 years. And what I'm not including in that, which some other law firms will include, is our mass tort department collection. What are mass torts?
Yes.
So the recalls or the Roundup weed killer. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of those cases. 3M earplugs for the Iraqi Afghanistan war vets. These 3M earplugs were defective. And so they had injuries.
You're not including that in your billions?
I'm not.
How come?
Including because we don't need to. We're focusing on just when we do these commercials.
Individual cases.
We're talking about the car accidents, the slip and falls, those
Oh,
individuals.
you're not talking about these massive lawsuits for these massive.
No, but we have
in the
them.
numbers.
Right. Okay.
We're just not including them in our numbers. Like I think you probably just did a recent one that has now been. It used to say we've collected $1 billion for our clients over the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, based on last year and what we're doing this year, which is going to beat last year's numbers, pants off, is we've collected over $1 billion in 4 years now. So we're pretty proud of that. And we're proud of the clients we're able to, that we're able to do this for. I mean, we have plenty of these stories, but I have one story. This lady comes in and want to talk to me, just say thank you. And it was really sweet. And I meet her up front and she goes, I'm getting X amount of money. And oh my God, you don't understand. It's a life changer. And I want to say thank you. And I wanted to know, can you set me up with a financial advisor? And I'm like, I can give you people that we know, but that's kind of up to you and how you want to do it. And that was only one part of her case. And it's a lot of money, but it's not in the millions by any means, but it's the impact you can have. And we have staff meetings every month. I have one on Thursday this week. And I continually tell our staff the same thing and over again. In our business, we have the ability to have a positive impact on people every single day because they came to us, trusted us with their case, and to have an outcome that hopefully is just for them. And we'll fight for them. There's other law firms that don't necessarily fight. They're paper pushers. They don't have a litigation department. We have 14, 15 attorneys. That's all they do is litigate cases, meaning if it can't get resolved, then we'll move it into litigation and go fight the clients.
That goes back to AI right there because AI is not going to replace your ability to litigate. That's
correct. Litigation's not going anywhere. And that goes back to when I was talking about that list that Chrysler Dahmer said, and one of the professions was legal profession. He said 97% are going to be obsolete. You have the specialists, so the trademarks or the patent cases, IP stuff like that, you're always going to need a lawyer. But then you have the litigation. So litigation, you're always going to be fighting in a courtroom. I mean, I know right now that didn't Elon Musk just release an AI bot, like an actual, I don't know if it's not a human, but a
physical presence.
A physical presence, there you go. George Jetsen's right around the corner. I'm assuming our food's going to be coming in little packs, and we're already doing the bar. Soon it's going to be a full meal.
Great, more processed foods.
But what can you? You don't have to say the name, but I'm just curious to the number. You got one person, the biggest number you got.
Yeah, so
one
we've got
person.
a couple over $10 million. We got when you're looking at mass tort stuff, hundreds of millions.
Wow,
easy.
And do you still go into court and fight, or do you?
It's almost a full time. Here's the thing: I'm on the end of my leg of doing this. I'm 25 years, I think, roughly into this right now. Well, I've been partners with Glenn. We're working with Glenn for 26 years this past August. Pretty crazy when you think about that because two alphas and how are they working together for that long? I've actually been
separate offices.
We do have separate offices. I think it's just growing and learning each other over time, to be honest with you. He'll be the first one to tell you there's certain things I do and he does better than I know he does better than me. And then you have those things where you come together, hey man, I really need your help. I really want to hear your side of this and so on and so forth. So it's been, we've had our ups and downs, but it's been a awesome 26 years. When I first came out, I wouldn't have thought of this at all. This is what I'd be doing.
You can't go anywhere in this town without seeing or hearing about Lerner and Rowe.
Yeah, not even this town. Nevada, California.
All over Vegas when I landed.
Hopefully,
Vegas.
Hopefully good stuff. Look, you can't make everybody happy, but you try and make as many people happy as possible.
Even what you give back to the community, that part blows me away. I don't think anybody competes with that, and I think people try to. I almost feel other law firms are trying to do stuff because you do it.
And I wouldn't disagree.
Right.
But that's a good thing.
Right.
Because you were there, I think, at one of our, maybe 10 years ago, one of our golf events, our annual golf events, I was speaking to a bunch of other lawyers that come to our event. And I was like, let's stop taking. As lawyers, we're taking. We want business. We want more. Let's start giving back. And I don't care if it's in your time, because not everybody's got the opportunities that we have or the resources that we have. But if it's in your time, let's give back and help more. So I can't get upset when I see another law firm saying, doing the exact same things we're doing. That's great. It's helping more people in our community. I'm proud of that. If I had anything to do with them wanting to do that and get out there, I'm so happy you don't even know. I think it's the most impressive thing that if I have that ability, I don't know if I do, but if I had that ability to have somebody else want to give their time, get their staff involved, write a check to help others in the community, I think it's fantastic.
Well, also that same line, when you look at the advertising everywhere, I mean, to me, I feel like you started that. Like now whenever I see another bus board or a bus with another law firm on it, I'm like, they're copying you.
Yeah,
it irritates the hell out of me. I know I can't do it, but I'm just telling you.
And one, we're not the originators on it. But yeah, we came, when we first started out in Las Vegas. I don't know if a lot of people know that. In Las Vegas, we weren't the first there either, but there was a niche. One of the big guys back in the day, I had somebody recently just go, there's stuff that I don't agree with in marketing. And my view is, don't buy other people's names. Like keywords, Google keywords you can buy. People buy the term Lerner and Rowe.
Wow.
And that's, for me, I think it's shady. I mean, how could it not be? So a lot of people don't know. I mean, I'm assuming you guys here, but a lot of people don't know, especially when you're on your phone and you type in Lerner and Rowe, the first 3 that pop up are ads.
They say sponsored
ads.
Yeah.
They didn't always say sponsored, but yeah, they say. And most people, I find it more people that are less tech inclined, or even are like my mom, my mom and dad and their age, they don't know. They typed in Lerner and Rowe. They click the first thing that pops up, because the first thing that pops up is not saying it's not Lerner and Rowe. It's saying, call us, we'll win big, or voted best.
And now, can you fight that or no?
So we have been, because we don't think it's fair. And there's different rules and different laws in different jurisdictions. Some jurisdictions have says it's against the law to do. Others, and ours being one, we're fighting right now as we speak. And so we'll see how it turns out. If you're allowed to do it, then so be it. But a gentleman that I was friends with goes, it's not a big deal because everybody does it, and you did it when you first started out. And that's where I went, no, there wasn't the internet when I first started out. We had phone books, and we'd buy the double trunk or the back of the phone book and put little magnets on the front so you put it on your refrigerator. No, we didn't do this. And it's not something we do now, even if we had the ability to. It's just, I think it lacks integrity, and I think it's, shady. If you're looking for Lerner and Rowe, then you should be able to get Lerner and Rowe and not have to fight and sift through to where they're at. If you're looking for personal injury attorney in Phoenix, fair game. All those words are open fair, but the trademark terms Lerner and Rowe or one call that's all or Interact need a check.
I would think that'd be something that you would be able to win quickly. And also maybe groundbreaking if no one else is.
We're fighting it. So we'll see how it turns out. But
so where is it in the case? Like, are you in front of a judge? I know a judge. She was just here.
We are actually. So we're at the lower court level, and the lower court level actually decided almost wanted to split the baby, and we said we don't want to split it. We need to know, And the other side basically even said, they go, yeah, we've gotten cases that people asked for you and gave us a list of those amounts. So the judge went that side. We said don't split it. Took their side. We appealed it. We just had hearings that took place, I think it was a month and a half ago, 2 months, maybe 3 months ago. So we're waiting to see what the appellate court says.
Do you go to a lot of the court cases that Lerner and Rowe represent?
It really depends. If there's something, good that we have coming on, I mean, you got to figure 95, 96% of the cases settle before, regardless if they didn't settle in pre-litigation, before complaint. They'll settle in mediation, arbitration, they'll settle, they'll resolve. The cases that don't, the other 3-4% that don't, they may still resolve down the line or right before a jury's picked, called voir dire. A lot of times they settle right on the court steps, basically. Excuse me. And then if it's a good case, like either I want to see the attorney, I want to see how things progress. You got to remember, me being in the courtroom can be prejudicial to our client. Remember, we're the advertising guys. People see all over the place. So you can have people that either love or hate advertising, marketing, and jury sees that I'm there and this whole thing. It can be, it can be prejudicial. But there are times I've gone in to watch and see what our people do, sit far in the back, and just want to see how the jury is, want to see how our attorneys are doing. Absolutely. I mean,
So let me ask you this. So there's I've been watching all these, true crime documentaries and like this Lacey Peters.
The worst date ever. The worst
ex ever, that one. But there's some of these cases where they know, I'm going to get this lawyer. He's the one that was on the OJ trial. He's the one that helped this murder trial.
Garagos.
Yeah, Garagos, that guy. Right.
Because you saw that with Scott Peterson.
Yeah, I saw the Scott Peterson one. But is there a case that you can talk about that, that case, that's the Lerner and Rowe case? Do you mean, is there anything that got that big here?
No, I mean, I don't know if we have anything that's really, I mean, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head that's groundbreaking either in law, because that's typically what you're fighting about is going to be either a legal issue or a money issue, monetary issue, or both. It can be both.
But it's not like, yo, you saw that freaking bus that ran into the Walmart truck. Yeah, that was a Lerner Rowe case. We got, you know what I mean?
We had a Walmart infringement case that Walmart literally grabbed. It was a trademark infringement. This guy is, and I can't get into what it was, but literally, and you see them, like if you walk into Walmart, they're still using them, but they finally had, I mean, they were getting away with it for years.
Walmart was breaking the law?
Walmart was infringing.
You sued Walmart?
And we went after Walmart.
That's a hard
did you win?
one.
Yes, we did. Yeah, the guy made out really well.
Can you imagine the size of the lawyer team on the Walmart
They
side?
had quite a few, and it's just, it's three of us and stuff like that. But it was, it's a big deal. I mean, I can't get into it, but I would bet you if you walked into Walmart and you looked up at some of the marketing they have there, stuff they have around there, one of those is probably the ones that they had to pay to use.
So you won, but they also run the right to use what they were doing
They did.
before.
And continue to pay for it.
Oh, wow.
But crazy stuff.
So Kevin, who's the legacy? You said you keep referencing that you and Glenn are kind of in the latter years. You've been practicing a really long time. Who's going to be the next Lerner Rowe?
That's interesting. So we are really spending, and you kind of alluded to it, are you still going to court? Are you still doing this? And managing a firm, but managing a firm not only in all these different states, takes a lot of your time. We do a lot of seminars across the nation about picking up other law firms. So right now, we're looking to acquire law firms. So, and we're talking about exit strategies for others, about acquiring law firms. Like, we'll take it over for you, especially people that may not have a strategy already planned out, or they want to go do something different. And so we're going across the nation. I fly to Utah tomorrow, and we're there all day talking with a bunch of different law firms.
So you buy the law firm, keep it the name. Don't
100%.
turn it
It's already
Lerner
got
Rowe.
a brand. I'm not taking it, bro. I don't want to make it Lerner Rowe. I want to keep
but
it
you're
whatever
running
it is.
it. Meanwhile, there could also be a Lerner Rowe law firm in that same city.
There could be, 100%. I mean, where else better to do it in your home state than your city? It makes it a lot easier to run. That's the thing. We already have staff, and you talked about earlier, repurposing staff. I mean, at the end of the day, if we continue to grow, I may not have to.
But do you have to update your legal license to own those, or no?
No. So as long as you're licensed, a licensed lawyer, you're fine. Like Glenn's not licensed in Arizona. But
you are.
Yeah. But
so I couldn't start a law firm and hire lawyers to work for me?
So that's interesting.
Because I would like to do that.
It's that way in the medical system as well. Only a doctor can buy a doctor's
Okay, so this
practice.
has changed, though, just of recently. I think it's maybe 3 years now. It's 2021. The Supreme Court in Arizona came out with alternate business structures that you can be a non-lawyer and own a law firm. Now, they've changed a lot of different things, and I'm paraphrasing a lot of stuff, but you have to go through a background check and everything with the Supreme Court. So if you own more than 10%, they have a full background. You have to answer a bunch of questions and all this different stuff. But if you're approved to be ownership of this structure, this entity, this ABS entity, then you can actually own law firms. So what did that do? That opens up for private equity, venture capitalists to come in. And so the weird, I mean, they came in quick, and they're here. You're seeing law firms that are marketing on TV. You just don't know that they're not local, but they're acting like they are, but they're based out of Florida. Their main offices are in Florida or stuff like that. They're here, and that brought a lot of money in marketing here, and it was all done in the interest or access to justice, which I always thought was kind of a little odd because we're free. You don't pay us unless we collect, unless we win.
So everyone has access.
So, and there's different fields. They're obviously looking at, criminal justice. We're now paralegals. If you pass the test and apply, you can actually represent individuals in certain court capacities. So
without being a lawyer.
Without being a lawyer.
Kind of like
PAs?
In
our industry?
In your industry, right? There's all these people that are doing stuff that aren't doctors.
You can play doctor, but not have the degree.
It's nuts, man.
Right. It's kind of waters down the MD, waters down the JD. I mean, at the end of the day. But you're seeing a lot of that stuff happening here, and they're here. They all came here thinking, because we're the only state in the entire United States that ripped off the Band-Aid and said, let's just do this. Utah has it like on a sandbox, a case-by-case approach, and they've been doing it for a while like that. But we're the only state that just said, yeah, anybody, we welcome you all. Come on in.
So, because there are a lot.
There are. I mean, I don't know a lot, maybe 90 that there's approved ABSs, structures, those structures that are out there. And they got backing. I know a couple that have, hundreds of millions of dollars in marketing and stuff. But here's the thing. The problem that they're having and it's a problem for problem day one, is if an accident occurs in Nevada, and so the jurisdiction is Nevada, you have a Nevada attorney, that's fine, it's handling the case, but you're based here. How are you splitting fees with a non-attorney that were derived from an accident and made from an accident in Nevada when they don't allow you split fees with an attorney? You may hear in Arizona, but the fees came from an accident in Nevada, that jurisdiction. So you can't bring it back here and split those fees with a non-lawyer. You can only do it in Arizona. So think about that. And like I said, some Utah. So they came rushing out here to be able to do all this stuff. And I like, big thing is when you have that kind of money, you want to do national. National marketing is great because you get cheaper rates. You get more. You reach more people. When you're in a market like ours or California or Nevada, that are Texas, that are really big markets, Atlanta, these big markets that they have, you're spending a lot of money. The cost per case acquisition to get a case now has gone up 50% in the last 4 years because of those things. And now we're obviously in political season, so they're buying out a lot of different stuff and all that stuff. But it costs more to actually get a case nowadays.
You know what? Let's shift gears a little bit to medical stuff and health stuff, because I'm your patient, right?
Yes.
Client, and years ago when I signed up with you, you told me to get the Oura ring, right? So I have one of the first Oura rings.
Gen 1.
Yeah. And Kevin has an Oura ring, and him and I, I'm on that.
Your circles, your
yeah,
friends.
Yeah, I see his. So I look at his sleep score.
I didn't invite
day.
you to my circle, Kevin. I'm sorry.
I see his sleep score every day.
Last night I took mine off.
Oh, I thought your sleep score to me looked like you died.
Yeah.
You were at a 34.
It was bad
What?
last night. Yeah.
You're like
Yeah.
the 90 king.
No, it was. I was, and then lately with travel. So I got home late last night from New York, and that kind of got me. I was kind of wired. You know how you're really tired on the plane, then you get home, you're like, oh, I'm gonna put in Perfect Couple, and let's finish that.
Did you finish it?
No, but you get into it, and then you're like, oh my god, I go watch the next episode.
Right.
And next thing I know, it's one.
Well, what's your sleep routine? I wonder if the stuff you take, what Carrie would think of the things you do.
She's gonna say
the
you're
things
crazy,
that you
you're
do
nuts.
to go to sleep.
I think I've already called him crazy.
Do you know about the stuff that he does?
The
to go to sleep?
blackout?
The blackout's terrible. I don't know where you got that from.
Yeah, God, who would go on air talking about that 7 years ago?
I stopped taking it.
But it's almost now mentally. It's if I don't have it now, I went to magnesium.
You think
powder?
so?
I got that from her. The powder,
I got it from
the
her.
powder,
Right.
the lemon
Yeah.
powder.
Right.
That's the same as blackout, but healthier.
So I have.
So you take both?
I did last night, trying to get myself to sleep.
Just turn the TV off.
Yeah, but you used to take freaking a sleeping pill.
Unisoms.
Yeah, and then
Oof.
right.
Yeah. Bad for the brain.
I try so many different things right now because the hardest part is not staying asleep. When I go to sleep, I'm good. When I'm out, I'm out. Like I did the other night when we were in New York. The first night was horrible sleep. And then went to bed like 10 o'clock, and I woke up at 8, and I was dead to the world. The battery died. So I didn't get a chance to see that I did. I get a
Doesn't
98.
it kill you when you don't get credit for what you do?
Exactly.
It
I was
kills
like, I got a 90. I had no way I'm going to compete against
What's your
100.
highest score you ever got?
97.
What
You
about
got a
you?
98?
98.
No, I got a 97. I don't think I've ever got 98.
I thought you did.
Hey,
Blake got
listen,
98.
anything over an
Oh,
88
Blake.
consistently is a win,
Is it?
okay?
Over
really
88?
is. Anything over 88, you'll get the little crown at
Yes,
88.
yes,
but
yes.
anything over 88 consistency, because what it really matters is consistency. If you have 97, 34, 97, 52, that's wrecking your brain. It's wrecking your physiological status. I mean, you just want to be solid and regular.
Let's see.
See, I
what
need
she
to
says.
upgrade mine.
We're not even going to talk about HRV, though. We're not allowed to bring up
HRV 's
HRV.
terrible.
Let's see what she says about this one.
What?
Because I just recently bought a new a new thing. My wife says, "What are you doing, mining?" So I have this new thing that you put around your head like this.
Oh, is it the Cool Band?
No.
Oh.
It's and it gives you electrical stimulations to help you fall asleep.
Oh, I actually don't know
I'm
about
not going to say the
that
name
one.
of it. I'll tell you after.
But there's one that came out a couple of years ago. It looks just like a little mining thing, and it actually regulated your temperature because they found out that one of the reasons you couldn't fall asleep was if you're too warm, specifically around your head, it stopped you from going into deep sleep. So stage 3, stage 4.
Yeah.
And then you put this it's called, I don't know if it's called Cool Band, but Cool Band on. And then they found people got deeper sleep because of it. But it was kind of annoying to wear. And when you roll over, you
Okay, hold
roll
on. I need my phone. Amazon.
Yeah.
I might
need
have
it
to
here
try
tonight.
that. My next purchase, I think, that I'm going to do for my sleep is the Sleep 8 mattress. Have you
Yeah,
seen
that's
that?
getting a lot of great traction. I mean,
know.
I have Uller, so yeah.
So it came up in my feed, and then I left it, and I didn't do anything with it. And then I was speaking to somebody in New York, and they're like, it's a game changer for me.
Isn't it
was the
AI?
best.
Wait a minute. Can we circle back around? Doesn't it have some background AI built into
I
it?
think it does.
Because it learns, because it learns everything going on
Correct.
through all your devices, and then it manipulates what it does the
It's
next
just
night.
the cover, right? It's not a full. Well, you
Right,
could
it's
get
just
a
a
full
cover.
mattress, but
I've been looking at this thing for about 3 years now, and I'm getting ready to pull the trigger and
it's like
do it.
$2,500 or $2,900, something
Yeah,
like that.
and you put a cover over your bed, and there's a machine next to it, and it keeps it cool, and it wakes you up by it getting warmer.
I've had that for 3 years, but it's not that brand. It's the people who made the brand I have left to go make the 8.
Well, you said yours is called Uller?
Uller, yeah.
Oh, I never heard of that before.
And it does exactly that. It cools you down, and then it warms you up, so you don't wake up to an alarm clock and not obnoxious.
So I've been studying, doing my own tests on what I think works. And to me, what I think works, help you get in the 90s, is you have to eat dinner way before you go to sleep.
1,000%.
Way before you go to sleep.
absolutely.
And I know what else you're going to say right now, but and you're in New York, they don't go to dinner until 8 o'clock.
It's crazy.
And then you're talking about by the time you're done, it's 10. And I'm already sitting there going, I
Right.
don't want dessert. I don't want anything. It's
Right.
not going to work mentally.
Right.
I'm already getting anxiety
Right.
knowing I'm not going to sleep.
Same.
And that's what kills me. And then I think you had a conversation with my daughter via DMs. And you're
I told her not to drink.
the
part?
electrolytes.
Oh, I told her to drink electrolytes. Yeah, LMNT.
Before bed.
So I've been
And
doing that.
I also told her to stop drinking.
Or BCAAs. Or BCAAs before bed.
What's
Both.
that?
Branched chain amino acids.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, do you drink the LMNT?
I do.
Because of what I told her?
I specifically got it.
What flavor?
Oh, they were, I don't know, it's red, lime, and da-da-da.
Yeah, those are my favorite. I do it every day. And
Well, I
then
grab it when I'm at the facility.
if you do it the first time, no, there's a different one too.
We have, we
I
have
have theirs
those,
too.
and we also have BCAAs as
I
well.
drink hers throughout the day, and then when I go in the sauna, I drink the LMNT. It's
See, the
freaking
problem is when I fly, I get super dehydrated.
Everyone
I'm not
does,
drinking that. Yeah. And so last night, again, we didn't get home until late. I ate on the plane, and that food's horrific. And then by the time I drank the
LMNT.
yeah, by the time I had that, then I had to have my blackout, which is a whole nother bottle of water that I'm drinking with that, along with magnesium.
And then you got up 4 times to urinate.
Twice.
Okay.
That sucks too. Doesn't that suck?
Yeah.
I said to her, I was like, I keep peeing a lot.
You
She's like, well, welcome to your 50s.
But I
I'm
think
the
at the end of
most
the day, if you
empathetic
do it,
doctor.
it's like, again, I couldn't spread it out. If you can do it where you start doing your, electrolytes at 7 o'clock, then for me it would be
And cut
7
it
o'clock.
off.
I'm done
Yeah.
eating at 6.
Start your day with electrolytes.
Yeah, that's the first thing I wake up with.
So did you know a fun fact about AI?
What's that?
If you ask it how many R's are in the word strawberry, it will only tell you 2.
So there you go again.
Strawberry.
Don't trust AI.
AI. Always research before
Fact check.
fact check. Yep.
I still can't get over that there's a P in raspberry. That's just me.
That's your AI.
Okay, go ask that one.
Berry.
All right, that's a wrap.
All right. Thank you, Kevin
right.
Rowe. Lerner and Rowe, lernerandrowe.com. The phone number, 877-9000.
Let's go with 977-1900.
Dude, I don't know why I can't get that. I've never friggin'
877-1500 is Nevada. Is Las Vegas.
Well, thank you for your time. And
Thank
thanks for
you.
dressing up.